Every business has an inbox that someone has to sit down and go through the mails coming in. Newsletters, sales emails, junk, and even the mails that actually might all land in the same place, thereby needing a human to open them and sort them out and decide who owns these or what this is for. Today, I'm showing you something that we built that handles that first sort automatically. It reads every new email immediately it arrives, works out what kind of email it is, sorts out what kind of email it is, files it in the right place, and does all of these without anyone opening a single email. I, co-founder of Orchestrix, we build AI automations and web products for businesses. Let's get into it. This is the whole thing. Before I go through it piece by piece, let me give you the shape of what we have here, because everything after this will make much sense. This workflow actually starts from here, from this Gmail node, that is this box, this very first box here. So this watches our inbox, our Gmail inbox. Then whenever an email comes in, the second node, which is the second box, this extracts email fields, us to tidy up what came in. Like, it helps us to clean it up and pick out the specific date or the necessary field that we need. Simply because whenever an email comes in, it comes in with a lot of information or a lot of data that we don't actually need. Now, this third one, what does this do? This actually sends or hands over the email that came in to an AI. To check, okay, this email that came in, which kind of is this? We have 4 different categories. We have the newsletter emails, the spam emails, and the promotional emails. And lastly, we have the very fourth category, which is every other email that came in that does not fit into the very first 3 categories. The first box here, that is this very fourth node, what this one does is to help us read those AI answers. So this third node is our AI. So this is the one that does the categorization. So the output it brings, the fourth box, will help us to read the answers. And this one in the middle is the sorting. Yes, this is the sorting point. That is, it takes the answer from this fourth node and send it to their different routes. We have the newsletter route, the spam route, the promotional route, and the uncategorized route. Lastly, we have these 4 boxes here. This Gmail red node, doing something that I'm going to explain later on. Let us see what we have in each node. This is the very first node, and what this one does is to watch our inbox. We have connected our Gmail here, and the pull time was set to every minute, because whenever an email arrives in our Gmail, nobody will tell this workflow. So what this workflow does is every minute it goes over to our Gmail inbox and check, okay, is there anything new inside? And this minute, that is this a minute, is the shortest n8n allowed. And for sorting of email, it's faster, depending on how often email comes into your inbox. Next thing I want to show us here is the simple. What this one does is that anytime an email comes in, if it is stubborn, this node will clean it for us. Let me show us the output. We have the output of the email that was picked up. And as we can see, we have a lot of irrelevant data inside there. So when you toggle this on, it will not give you all these out. It will help you to bring out some specific outputs. However, I switched this off because it was not bringing out everything I needed. So that's the reason why I switched this off. But when you switch yours on and it gives you the output, you can just leave it. Lastly, in this node, I want you to see that I toggle off include spam and trash and drafts. I only want to pick up any email from inbox and no other. Let me show you why the second box exists. We have this set node to extract some specific fields from. As we can, this is all what Gmail hand over to us. And what we have here, we have the person that sent the email, that is the from. If someone was copied, we also have that. We have the date that it arrived. We have the message itself is in 2 different formats. We have the text as HTML, and this is actually a lot. And a lot of what we have here is just noise for what we are doing. So what did we do? We had to extract some specific field. We extracted the from field. We extracted the subject field. We extracted the message itself, that is what is in the message that was sent to us. We also extracted the dates. And lastly, we extracted the reference number. And I'm going to come back to this is very. Now you may ask, to other fields here. Every other thing that came in will get thrown away here. It will not go over to the next node. You may ask, why am I doing this? The reason is because we are sending data to, and when we over a big messy pile of information to an AI, you are paying for it to read things, and you are also giving it more chances to get distracted, which we want. So to be more specific, we just had to extract this necessary field and send it over to our AI. The fields we are sending to our AI is the field from this second node and not the fields from the very first. Let us not forget that when the email comes in, the body of the email comes in as text. However, the one we are sending to our AI, which is the plain word, the AI doesn't need to see the declaration in our mail to understand what someone is saying. So that's the reason why we're using this text field. Let's go over to the third node. Here we have the AI node, and this is where we hand over the email that came in and ask the AI to do its work. And what's the work of the AI? The work of the AI is to help us classify which kind is this. And we are using a service called Groq. Now, this is a very free tool to start with, and it is also very fast. So if you are building for a client that wants to watch their house, you can actually use it. Let me go over to the JSON, which is the break part here, and show us what we have. Now, we've set the temperature of to 0. This is where we are telling the AI what to do. The temperature here is basically how much freedom we are giving our AI to be imaginative. Now, this is set to 0 because we don't expect the AI to be creative. The 0 we put here means consistency. So every time the AI gets our email consistent, that is, it will give us the same answer every time. I was specific here. I told it exactly what the 4 categories means. I did not just tell it, read this mail and tell me if it's or a newsletter. I was specific. I told it each category means. What is a newsletter, a spam, a promotional email. And the very first one is the others. I have it here. Others means any email that does not clearly fit the above 3 categories. So any email that came in, the email that comes in like a work email, receipt, other confirmations, or message from actual people, the AI will classify it as others. When you're working with AI, you need to be specific. Specificity is very important. So if I just tell this email out, the AI would invent its own idea of what counts as the category. And that may be different from what is expected. Lastly, what I want to show us, I also told the AI exactly what shape to answer. That is, I want a summary, a one-sentence description of what the email is all about, because I have an email and summarize it into one sentence. Now over to the 4th node, I think, which is this code node. Now, wherever the AI outputs, it will give us these outputs. As we can see, let me try and execute this node so that we can see the way the answer will come in. Now let's output all these fields. We're looking at how it came back. Actual answer is somewhere here. It's buried somewhere here. So we had to use this node, this code node, to unravel it, the necessary field. Next is the sorting points. What this does is to look at the answers and send it to different routes depending on what the output says. If it is a newsletter, it will output it as a newsletter. If it is a spam, it will output it as a spam. If it is a promotional email, it will output it as a promotional email. Any other, which is the 4th, that's a fallback output. What does this mean? If the AI ever comes back with something we didn't expect, like it's not a spam, promotional, or newsletter, the email will still get cut here, rather than having it fall through it. So this would output it as an extra output. So this is why we have the fallback outputs here. Let's go to the 4 different route. Here we have our email classifier sheet. We have 4 sheets. The newsletter goes into here. We also have the spam, the promotional, and the uncategorized. Let us not forget that the uncategorized sheet here is like our safety net, because we don't want to delete any email and we don't want to miss out any email. Let's go over to our workflow. Now, there is a problem. And what's the problem? Every time this workflow runs, that is, I told us that each every minute, it checks our inbox and brings in a new email. So in a case where we have 3 emails come almost at the same time, The workflow will pick them up. It will sort. However, a minute later, it checks our gene, and those 3 emails are still sitting there unread. The workflow will run them up again because nothing ever told the email, that is our Gmail, that we have dealt with. So it picks them up again, it sorts them, take them to their different routes. And within an hour, you can have the same email logged in about 10, 50, 60 different times. And we don't want this to happen. That's the essence of having this read load. What does this do? Anytime it picks up an email, it's after sending it to their different routes, it's going to mark it as read. And that is why we have the message ID in the second node, which I told us at the very beginning. We have the message ID here, which is this. That's the essence of having the message ID. That is the reference number. So when it gets here, it will check the message ID and change the email, the unread email, to read. Even though this is a very small fix, if you miss it, it will turn your workflow into a mess, and you don't want that. Now, let's go over to the live tests. Right now, let's actually run it. I have 4 different emails, 4 different types of email, including one that does not fit our 3 category. This is the one that does not fit into the 3 category. While these other 3, we have the newsletter, we have the spam, and also we have the promotional email. I'm going to say these all at once. I have my workflow already published. Let's see how this would run. Let's check our Google Sheet. This is our Google Sheet. We have the unpublicized sheets empty, the promotional empty, the spam empty, the newsletter empty. So I'm going to get these done. I'm going to send all these emails once, and we'll see what's happening. I'm going to go over to the n8n. Yes, we have it running. This is what I said. It picked the 4 emails all at the same time, and it passed here. And as we can see, we have 4 different route options working here. So let's check our Google Sheets. So this is our Google Sheet, and we have the summary of the newsletter. Let's check the spam. This is our spam, and we also have the summary, just in one sentence. Same for the promotional mail. Now, this is the uncategorized. You can see the subject of this email is Thursday kickoff move to 3 p.m. So what's the summary? The email is about rescheduling a meeting and discussing the agenda and attendees for the meeting. So that's it. We saw how 4 emails came into our inbox, and everything was filed, everything was routed properly, and nothing was left for anyone to sort by hand. If your business has an inbox that is eating somebody's time, or you have any job like this where a person is doing something a system should be handling, get in touch with us at Orchestrix. The link is right there in the description. Next week, we are building one from scratch, that is from start to finish. So you can follow along and build your own. Kindly subscribe to our channel if you want to catch. See you in the next